The last mile of delivery is costly, and we really need to find efficiencies and find ways of doing that in a low impact, low emissions manner.
The city just released a transportation electrification blueprint. Our goal is to get to 30% of goods delivery being zero emissions by 2030.
Delivery by electric assist cargo bike is one of the ways that we will be able to meet those goals, and we are offering an opportunity to test and design those systems here in Seattle.
REEF is trying to provide proximity as a service. That means that we create these micro hubs where we have different partners and to maximize the usage on parking lots and really help out these local areas that are in need of services.
We're actually going out and using this micro hub as one of our pickup stations for drivers with electric cargo bikes to be able to pick up packages and from here go out and deliver them to the customers.
We're a domestic manufacturer of ECTs, electric cargo trikes. We're looking at developing the most sophisticated e-drive system to help carriers not only deliver packages and goods in a more environmental manner, but also in a more cost-effective manner.
We provide our REEF kitchens for residents and guests to be able to order food online so that these delivery platform drivers don't have to drive miles. Obviously, customers can choose the option to pick up their food.
Common carrier lockers are open to all retailers and any user who registers for the system. Neighbors can complete their own last mile by picking up packages.
BrightDrop's involvement in this key micro hub activity that we're doing here in Seattle is to essentially reimagine the future. And we're encouraging people to go to a place of imagination and think about what could be versus what is today.
So common carrier lockers are open to all retailers and anyone who registers for the system. They provide a sustainable solution to the last mile of delivery, which is actually the most expensive and most time-consuming leg of the supply chain journey. They create delivery density, which means that instead of a courier going door to door to deliver all of the packages, everything is delivered here. So it allows neighbors to actually complete their own last mile by picking up their packages here. So by creating delivery density and removing failed delivery attempts, common carrier lockers reduce the need for additional trips and additional miles that a delivery vehicle has to take, and so it reduces traffic congestion and CO2 emissions. So the Urban Freight Lab at University of Washington is a research partnership between academia, public transportation agencies, and private industry companies. We work collaboratively to identify complex problems around urban freight management and operation, and we design and test solutions to help industry operate more efficiently and to make our cities more sustainable and livable. We focus on designing and testing solutions in an age when e-commerce is exploding, cities are becoming more populous, and traffic congestion and emissions are just reaching epic levels.
We've led the organization and implementation of the hub on behalf of the participants, most of whom are members in the Urban Freight Lab. So we've identified the location, agreed to operations, and then we also will be leading the evaluation of the hub. So what's the impact on local traffic, on climate emissions, and accessibility for neighborhood residents. So the last mile of delivery is really costly. There's a lot of travel and a lot of just sort of work involved in getting that package to its final point. And we really need to find efficiencies and find ways of doing that in a low impact, sort of low emissions manner. So we're giving our partners the opportunity to test new solutions here. It's really important in order to develop technologies and operations in order to have a place to do that test. So we're part of giving people an opportunity to test, finding solutions, improving solutions, and getting to the future, which is a low and zero emissions delivery world.
So Coast Recycles is part of the UFL as the electric cargo trike or ECT provider. So we are building and supplying the platform for which we're able to deliver packages for the last mile delivery throughout Seattle. Well, naturally, I think anything being delivered by bike, and certainly by electric bike, is working towards sustainability and environmental initiatives locally here in Seattle and of course across the world. And so, any way that we can help, continue to push that movement forward is really important to Coaster Cycles as an organization. We're unique, at least in the bike manufacturing space, that we're a domestic manufacturer. We build all of our electric cargo trikes in Montana. So that certainly, puts us in a different perspective in terms of some other manufacturers out there. And we build RCTs for use in operation in pretty much every major metropolitan market across the United States, as well as in different cities across the world. We're just really excited to see, the enthusiasm and support, not only in the private sector, but in the public sector as well. And we think the convergence of those two is going to really help accelerate, market adoption of utilizing ECTs for delivery in cities, all across the US and ultimately across the world.
So as far as the future of sustainability goes, this project to us, it means a few different things. First of all, e-commerce is skyrocketing in the United States and globally for that matter. As it relates to the movement of goods, the World Economic Forum recently announced that within the top 100 cities globally, the delivery of goods is going to increase, or delivery vehicles, I should say, is going to increase by 36% by 2030. That's huge. As it relates to GM and to BrightDrop, what it means for us is an opportunity to test out some of the ideas that we have in a very dynamic environment with a great collaboration of folks and individuals from different companies. The other thing I would just add to it is, from a BrightDrop perspective, our EP1, we believe it's a very sustainable solution. It improves cost, efficiency, and reduces labor or pain points for the labor staff or labor organizations that use these types of solutions. BrightDrop actually started out of GM's Innovation Lab, and our mission is really pretty simple. We're looking to create smarter, greener, and more efficient solutions for delivery of goods and services. And as it relates to GM, the piece of that that's important to note is that we're a startup within a very large corporation, which enables us to move quickly and also have the benefit of utilizing the electrification and the sustainability piece of General Motors so that we can bring really effective solutions to market.
So with all that's happening in the world right now, we're very excited to be partnering with the City of Seattle and the MicroHub project in particular to be able to go out and provide different ways for our clients to get their packages to their customers. And what we're particularly doing here is we're actually going out and using this MicroHub as one of our pickup stations for drivers with electric cargo bikes to be able to pick up packages and from here go out and deliver them to the customers. I think there's a lot of companies out there right now trying to achieve carbon neutral delivery. We in particular are trying to achieve zero emission delivery, either by electric power or by human power. And so I think what this project does is creates a platform and an ecosystem for us, for the City of Seattle as a lawmaker, for the University of Washington as a researcher, to be able to figure out what should the future of delivery look like and how do we go from here. I think what AxleHire is most proud of right now is really being able to create a collaborative effort with so many different entities. In particular, working with the City of Seattle and this local government, we're seeing the government work at speeds that they've never worked at before. And it's specifically because we're all aligned on one goal, on one incentive, and that's to be able to go out and reduce carbon emissions for delivery. And I think that's what makes it magical, is just so much great participation and collaboration from all the parties involved. We're kind of half software, half operations. What we've basically done is created a shipping carrier with a tech-powered skeleton. And what we do is we use the skeleton to actually do deliveries on our own behalf and provide the number of different parties involved with the right platforms and tools to be able to create a successful delivery experience. So our clients think of us as a delivery company. We think of ourselves as an everything company. I think after 6 years of business, AxleHire is at a point now, post-COVID and post-new consumer norms, to really be able to deliver an impeccable delivery experience. And we're right now trying to stay on the forefront, and we are at the forefront, to make sure that we're pleasing customers with every single order.
Traditionally, urban deliveries in cities are performed using trucks. And there are some advantages of using lighter and more agile vehicles, such as a cargo bike. And they are easy to park, they better navigate traffic, and therefore they can park closer to the delivery destination. The question is how a cargo bike driver behave. Where do cargo bikes should drive? Should they drive on a bike lane or should they drive on a travel lane? Where should they park? Should we provide cargo bike parking or should they use the curb? To answer those questions, cities, companies, bike manufacturers, they are in need of data. And therefore, that's why the Urban Freight Lab decided to pilot a cargo bike here at the microhub in Seattle. And in particular, we're interested whether the urban infrastructure that a city provides, namely roads and parking infrastructures, are ready for hosting cargo bikes. The other point is that there is no single design for a cargo bike. There are, cargo bikes comes in different shapes and forms, and therefore cargo bike manufacturers and bike manufacturers, they are interested to understand what is the right design for the right city and the right infrastructure. This will inform cities on how they can regulate the bikes, whether they what type of permit they should give to the bike, and what type of infrastructure the cargo bike needs to navigate safely and on a city.
REEF's involvement in our last mile neighborhood delivery hub is we provide our REEF ghost kitchens to our densely populated areas of the city. We also do other verticals such as energy, healthcare, and grocery retail. Primarily right now it's just our REEF ghost kitchens, and right now we have 11 live kitchens in the Seattle market. REEF is trying to provide proximity as a service. We manage thousands of parking lots across the United States, and a lot of that is underutilized land. And so we try to do our best at maximizing that. So not only is it beneficial to the people that own the land, it's also beneficial to those local neighborhoods. And like I said, that could stem from having ghost kitchens on site, to having e-charging stations, to having healthcare trailers, to having grocery retail, urban farming, really just providing that last half-mile delivery, half-mile services to densely populated urban areas. So another great thing about our REEF ghost kitchens and being in these urban environments is that we can kind of expand the market. Whereas if you live in one neighborhood and you're going to order food from us, we want to make sure that we have a ghost kitchen that's close to you so that these delivery platform drivers don't have to drive miles. Obviously, if they can save on driving miles, that cuts down on emissions. We also provide where customers can choose the option to pick up their food. I think that REEF is most proud of this project is all the different partners that are on site and working with the University of Washington. This is a highly visible site for us and one of our most successful ghost kitchens that we have. And you actually couldn't ask for a more beautiful site, just blocks from the Space Needle and right underneath the monorail. But yeah, honestly, with all these partners that we have, we would love to be able to expand that with other partners and create other micro hubs, whether that be in Seattle or other cities, across the nation that we're involved in. That would be wonderful.
The city just released a transportation electrification blueprint a couple months ago that really has some bold commitments around reducing carbon emissions from transportation. Electrifying freight and goods movement is right up there among our commitments. Transportation is 60% of carbon emissions in the city of Seattle. It's the largest sector of carbon emissions that we have as a city. And our goal is to get to 30% of goods delivery being electric by 2030, or being zero emissions by 2030. And this pilot project, this effort is part of that goal. As Ann said, testing it and then figuring out how to scale it to meet that really bold commitment in just a few short years. It's hard to believe how soon 2030 will be upon us. And beyond just our commitments around electrification, we think that reducing carbon emissions is critical for our equity goals, our sustainability goals, our community health goals across the city, and the co-benefits that we have with projects like this are really tremendous. So happy to be here. Great to kick this off, and I can turn it back to you, Ann.